Hello Internet! I'm going to try something a little new today. It's been a while since I posted something on my blog, and it's been a little while since I posted something on Me and Time's YouTube channel, so I just wanted to lump the two together and try to make a blog post that is a YouTube video and a YouTube video that's about writing. So let's get into this episode of Renegade Reverie. So I wanted to talk about NanoWrimo and specifically Camp NanoWrimo because I really like writing a book in a month and I don't know why I like that so much. So my experiences with it have been the first time I tried I failed, but I got pretty close to the end. It was a book that never ended up being completed, and the reason why I didn't finish it was because it turns out I'm not a pantser. I can't just do whatever because I ended up killing the main character of a first-person novel, and as you might imagine, that doesn't work very well. And so then I gave up on it with just a couple of days left in the challenge and just a couple thousand more words to go. I totally could have done it. It was just me giving up on the story entirely. Looking back at it now, that was several years ago. It was awful. I tried to edit it and it wasn't any good at all. So, you know, that time was really a fail for me. So then my second NanoWrimo, both of these were in November, was for a story that also hasn't been completed, but was a story that I had going around in my mind quite a bit. I still like the idea of it, but what I learned is I can't write stories that have school in them. I was in school at the time, in high school, and it was no good. My parents had homeschooled me for most of my life, and I was not enjoying public school, and trying to just write that was the most difficult thing for me. And I ended up getting very close to completing it, like probably 500 words away from getting the word count goal. But the only way I did that was by skipping major sections of the novel that I just didn't want to write because they took place during school. So it was a really good learning experience for me to show that no matter how hard I push myself, I just can't write school settings. I don't know what it is about it. It might just be my hatred for school, or it might be just I didn't interact enough in school to really, since I was dead quiet the whole time, I didn't interact with people enough to figure out how to write it. I am still not sure, but I've cut that completely out of all of my writing. So then at that point I determined that it was probably not the best idea for me to actually be writing a novel while I was in school, believe it or not. So I switched and only did Camp NanoWrimo. And that year I actually completed my novel. It's the one I'm still working on now, World War Marlowe. And I'm still in the process of editing it. But that original draft got 50,000 words in like I had wanted to. And it had all the major things in there that I needed. And so I ended up doing a rewrite of the second half of it over the following January because there were some characters in there that I didn't need, and the whole thing just ended up, I got stuck. And so in January I actually determined that I needed to write a second book to it in order to wrap up all the plots that I had started for myself. I just spent the last month editing it again, and that was such a weird way to say again. I just spent last month editing it, hoping to get it like someone so that they'll like it, because I've sent it out to a couple of people and they all didn't like the way I opened it, and so I ended up cutting a lot of it, and then now I have what would have been the book 2 in the book, and it's 10,000 words now instead of the 80,000 words that it had been in January. And that was last year. So then I did 2 more NanoWrimo. I don't even know how many books I've written anymore because I don't like very many of them. I believe, so another book that I have written since then I didn't do in a month, but my challenge was to do it in a month. I had the month of January once again blocked out to write it, but about January 20th I got extraordinarily busy, and then I stopped writing it then, and then I wrote a little bit more, and it just took me another week to finish that draft. I haven't taken another look at it since then, but I really like the way it turned out. Maybe that's just because it's one of my newer works. But then I'm going to be participating in Camp Nano again in July, just a couple days from now, and I've been doing all of the plotting and stuff that I needed to for that ahead of time, and so hopefully I'll be able to complete this July as well. So what I've learned overall is that I'm not a pantser. I have to plot out everything. I cannot get away with just the bare minimum of an idea of what it might be about, because then my brain goes off and does something crazy. I really need to have everything written out, all of the characters pre-developed, and the idea that I'm going to be working on, I've been thinking about I had the initial idea back in January. I developed the idea earlier in this month, and I'm going through and plotting out the whole thing. I think I might do a separate video or blog post about what my setup, my NanoWrimo prep is, even though it's a little late for NanoWrimo prep. Maybe you can use it next NanoWrimo or whenever you want to set it up. I've been able to do it when there's not an entire month in a group planned out. It's just self-dedication for me. So yeah, it's good for me. I've only been able to complete NanoWrimo. I've only been able to complete it twice, but I really enjoy it and I get a lot done while I'm doing it. When I try and write a novel and I don't limit myself to just a month, I end up getting bored by it and distracted by other projects. So it's really a good thing for me to sit down and try and complete it in a month. Whether there's anyone else coming along with me, I just need to write 1,667 words every day. And it makes me happy, and I've really gotten in the habit of writing every day now, which is wonderful. Since summer started and it's been very hot out here, I've been able to write a lot, and it's been good. I'm really liking my writing finally. I'm gonna try and get World War Marlowe through another edit in August, and then I'll start looking for publishers either September or October, depending on how other people's schedules work out and how busy I end up being. So that means I'm in the 5th or 6th draft of World War Marlowe now, just because I've tried to edit it before and I've stopped. And so we're good to go, baby, yes! Anyway, have a great day, you guys. I hope you got something out of this. Maybe learned that not everyone does NanoWrimo the same way and not everyone wins, but keep trying. You'll get it if you haven't already. Have a great day.